to Everyday Question with Eve. It's a platform where I give quick, fast fire answers to questions that are emailed to me or sent to me via WhatsApp. Our first question today is from a lady. My husband has fathered a child elsewhere. We have been married 8 years and I am so angry. I hate what he has done. I don't want a divorce, but I don't want him to get away with what he has done. My friends advise me to leave him. What shall I do? In the first instance, you did not tell me if the child was born before you got married to him or during your 8 years relationship. You did not tell me also if you have, children currently in your marriage. And this is the advice I want to give to you. Whatever the case, there's a child that has been born outside your home, outside your marriage, outside wedlock. I can understand you feel angry, you feel betrayed, you feel a sense of loss, and you're feeling feeling shame or humiliated, and insecurity as well, and fear. All these things are negative emotions that people would normally have when they find come to know about something like this. These feelings are natural, and I just want to say to you, give yourself the permission to feel. It's okay to feel these emotions. It's okay to have these feelings. But I always say to people, you just have one moment. You just have one moment to express these emotions. They are natural. You cannot suppress them. And, feeling those emotions are just a pathway to recovery. They are a pathway to healing. So you're not going to suppress those emotions. So it is all right to be angry and to have all those feelings of, being angry and, I'm not happy at what has happened. And these feelings are for a moment. Like I said, don't dwell on these feelings. Don't dwell on it for too long. Don't remain bitter for too long. Remember, you haven't done anything wrong. Your partner have done something wrong in the relationship. And I know that, it's easy to just take on so much of that pain and that hurt and begin to, let it all out. But, hang on a minute. You haven't done anything wrong. Your partner is the one that should really, be ashamed at what he has done and, offer you explanations as to why or what has happened. So the onus rests on your husband to give you that explanation. But I can understand that you're affected. I can understand the pain. I can understand the hurt. I can understand those negative feelings. So I'm not making any excuse for your husband. What he has done is not right. But at least things are now in the open. Things are now in the open. So how do we move from this situation? You have said in your question that you don't want a divorce, which is good, because divorce is not a solution to these problems. Many people who have divorced, when they look back, they felt, or they always say that they wished that they had counseling or somebody helped them through that difficult time and they might not have divorced, because really divorce is not the solution, it's not the answer. So I will also advise that since you don't want a divorce, I believe you love your husband, you want to keep your relationship, you have invested in it for 8 years, and you will therefore need to utilize couples counseling. I would recommend godly counseling, which is a place where you can both talk and, let out your feelings and, listen and be listened to. It's usually a good forum to iron things out. And I would always, the counseling I have done is I talk to people about grace-filled marriage. It's a counseling that talks about giving your partner grace. A grace-filled marriage is where you give your partner that grace, that room, that extra room where you can just accommodate them and give them that grace. And then it helps you to walk through difficult situations. You need to forgive him so that you can access your healing. Yes, you feel hurt. Yes, you feel angry at the moment. It's an emotion and it will pass. But it needs to be, you need to deal with the feelings. You need counseling to be able to walk through these feelings. They're not just going to go away. And talking, godly counseling will help you to walk through these feelings. And the truth to this matter is that your healing, or you're going to have access to your healing when you forgive your husband. There's something about forgiveness. It releases you. It frees you. Your happiness and your comfort comes back to you. But it's not automatic. It's something that you have to walk through. It's something that you have to walk through, talk through, through counseling, godly counseling. And you walk through these negative feelings, these negative emotions, and you come on the other side. And the minute you are able to forgive your husband, you begin to get healed. You begin to receive healing as well. You said you don't want him to get away with what he has done. I want to say to you that he hasn't gotten away with what he has done, and he will never get away with what he has done. When you forgive him, there will be no room for revenge. When you have forgiven him completely and totally, healing takes place in you, and he begins to receive healing as well. And your relationship begins to receive healing. He has not gotten away with what he has done. And I just want to tell us a little bit about perfect love. The Bible, the good old book, the holy book, tells us that perfect love casts away fear. Perfect love is all you need. And I know you love your husband, because when I've read the question, you don't want to divorce him. You have invested 8 years. You have had good times, and marriage is ups and downs. There's no perfect marriage. You work at marriage every time. You need to add tonic to marriage every time. So I believe you have love for your husband. And to overcome this situation, I would recommend that you go to 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 to 7. And it tells us what love is. And I'm just going to read because it answers all the questions you may have about what has happened, and it shows you the way. And, if you can walk through counseling prayerfully and, with this scripture at the back of your mind, you are able to overcome this challenge. I call it a challenge. 1 Corinthians 13, 4, 7. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on his own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, hope all things, and endure all things. Just look at all that about love. This is where you want to be able to walk through the hurt. And it's an emotional feeling. It will go away. Emotions come and go. But when you walk through this with godly counseling, standing on this verse about perfect love, it drives away fear. That love helps you to forgive your husband. And when you forgive your husband, you begin to heal as well. It's an access to your healing. You are just accessible to being healed and, getting back to yourself and getting your relationship back. And I just want to address the last point. My friends have told me or advised me to leave him. Your friends have not invested in this relationship for 8 years, and they may well have their own relationships. I would want you to look at your relationship in a triangular way, which is, picture a triangle in your mind. God is at the top of the triangle. The apex of the triangle is God. Your husband is on the base side and you are on the base side as well. So you just have three people in your relationship. You have God, you have your husband, and you have yourself. So your friends are not part of your relationship and should not be part of your relationships. Third parties are never healthy for a good marital relationship. So for now, if you keep this issue in a triangular form, my God, my husband, and myself, then you just have a triangle to deal with. And then you can cut off every other thing. And I believe when you prayerfully seek godly counseling, you will walk through your feelings and your relationship will be restored, and you will be, your relationship will be restored when you apply God's wisdom to dealing with this challenge. I hope all goes well for you, and I wish you all the best.
Want to ask Eve a question? Send an email to everydayquestionswitheve@gmail.com and we'll try our best to answer the questions every Wednesday on the show. Thanks for watching.